Okay. Fine. So Shin Lamed. Shin Lamed.
Shilamed Gimel,
Eve Gimel.
Sif Gimel. Hiskil Apoel Bemelocha.
Right. So now we're not even talking about Holach, but Mamish
He went
Hiskil.
there, he quit in the middle of the day.
Yeah. So here, yeah, he starts working already. Which, as we know, that when a pale starts working, that's already right. Like we said, because by Holach, he has to, even by Holach, he has to pay him his
So the
like
embassy
pale
is
bottle because it's Kihas Cholas Melocha. So as
the
Cholas
bottom
Melocha
line
means it's a
is
done deal in every sense. It's a done deal.
here we're talking about when he's working half.
Right, and he leaves, but it's the same. But it's the
He
same principle.
quits. He quits, but it's the
Right,
same
but it's the
principle.
same
It's a
principle.
commitment. It's a
Right,
commitment.
meaning it's the same principle as before. Because before we spoke about even Holach is already Kehiskil. Here, Mamish Hiskil Avodah from both parties. It's a done deal.
It's a done deal, exactly. It's a commitment.
And now he goes and leaves.
Yeah, exactly. So it's this time it's the worker who quits, not the
right, correct.
Not the guy who wants to quit, not the balabos. No, before the commitment was that the once he's holach, so the balabos can't go back on the commitment. That's the pshat over here.
Yeah.
Okay, let me learn it. Yeah, he's
right, but it's not just like we said before that really it's even Steven. Meaning anything that the balabos ain't yochel by, right? So so logically speaking, the pile also lachzer by.
Yeah.
Only what? Only there's going to be only he's going to have a special pass he's going to get for the pile for Schiliyim. That's
right. He's gila poil bemelocha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ob the poil is hat gewoon gefangen zu arbeiten. Yeah. Bechozer bo bechatzi yoim. Yeah. Es ist zurückgezogen in der halben Tag. He quit. Yeah. Choizer he's allowed to quit.
Yeah.
ואפילו קיבל כבר דומו דמי שכירוסוי. Look at that.
I already paid you for the whole day. What do you mean you're quitting half the day? So give me half my money back.
Doesn't have to.
Well, if he has it, he has to.
בשם בויסה שלא אומרו שפועל יוכל לחזר בוי אלו בסויכר עצמוי באמירו, אבל כל שנשתבט בקניין לפוי מילס, yeah, okay, fine. I'm just looking,
Yeah. So really, he has to pay him back. But what happens?
He says this is an informal agreement. There was no Kenyan, no nothing.
Right, but his skill is already concrete.
Yeah, but he says that
if it's a Kenyan, it makes it stronger, right? It makes it a bigger problem. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a proper Kenyan. It makes it a real.
But I believe by a schiri, but I think the Kenyan is going to be. It's going to make it more difficult for the Kablan.
You mean a proper Kenyan, not stam?
No, even a proper Kenyan is going to make it more difficult for the Kablan. The Schir Yom can still leave, I believe, even with the Kenyan.
Laat me zijn, ja?
We'll see.
Veel kibel kwart dome de meeste schirusoi, wenn wir de Shalom mit Balabais, und hat nicht der Geld zu bezahlen Balabais, ja?
He spent it already. In the beginning of the day, he got paid already. He went and paid off his bills.
Yeah, gemacht Shabbos, no? Yochoi lachzor bei. He's still allowed to go back.
Right.
He has to pay back.
This whole thing goes against logic. Because first of all, if the balabas ain't a yochel lachzer by, why should the pale be able to lachzer by? He shouldn't be able to. Second of all, if he gave him already the money, and he doesn't have it. So listen, if at least you give me half the money back, you spent it already. Now stay and finish the rest of the day. Elomai and Emar. But really, Lefia Svara, this whole thing it defies logic.
Right. So then he says, but he has to Yochel lachzer bei v'hamois chayv olav. But there is a chiyuv for him to return the balance.
Yeah, he still owes it to him. The chiddush
Yeah,
here is that he owes it to him, but he can't force him to finish out the day because of the money he gave him.
right.
So fine. So no, wait. I gave you the money. Now either give it to me back or finish out the day. No, it's a chayv. It's a he'll owe it to you.
שנאמר, כי לי בני ישראל עבודים, ולא עבודים לעבודים. You see, this is only by a soicher. The
You're right.
drosha
This is going to be by a
that
sefer.
allows you to do this is only as far as that is concerned.
Yeah.
ומהי תימה, also לפועל, אפילו מלמד, אוי סופר, להזכיר עצמו, להיות בבייס בעל הבוס.
The base
הנה, ומהי
balabais.
תימה, also לפועל, אפילו מלמד, אוי סופר, להזכיר עצמו, להיות בבייס בעל הבוס, בקבע 3 שנים. I don't understand what he says over here.
He's saying that because it says ki li bnei Yisrael avodim, right? So avodim loy v'loy avodim la'avodim.
So that's why he can't commit himself.
A sochir is not allowed to contract himself for 3 years. Why? Because now he's making himself like a slave, and you're not allowed to enter into a slave arrangement. You're supposed to be avodim loy. Why afilu melamed sefer? Why does he say afilu melamed sefer?
Yeah.
Because hava amina that a melamed in sefer is working in avodas kodesh. So even though he contracts himself,
I remember that part. Yeah.
So even he contracts him for 3 years, it's fine, but it's avodas kodesh. No, that's still considered avodim loy.
Yeah, no, because
you're still at the behest of the guy.
Yeah, but ich meine so, aber das Kodesh hat nicht der Din von Avodim, weil Rabbi von die Ebisches wegen. You know, he's doing it for the Ebisches.
Nope. Kamash Malon, even a Malamed did a sefer. Yeah. It's good. We remember something.
You remember
Listen,
the beginning.
I just hope he asks me all the questions on Shilam and Gimel.
The Ebische wird uns helfen in Mitzvah Shem.
Yeah.
I feel so much. I have, these few days from here till Wednesday, I'm going to be learning stark. But the writing is going to be a different. It's going to be the week after, I think. No,
what
the writing, the written for her.
Yeah, the next week. Yeah, you have another week after that.
Yeah. Okay, so that means we continue chazering. I mean.
Yeah, for sure.
After the oral for her,
and even after that, we'll continue.
I was looking now at the Pesach Tshuva that we're doing, that we did. I said, "Mamish Rebbeinu Shalom, Alvai ich won't come to them because if I already line it, it means of something that you and me were talking about it, and then we found the answer there. I don't just go around making lines on the Pesach Tshuva.
Right, to be able to come back later and sit on it.
It was something that you and me talked about, and we found the answer there. We didn't have time, or we did have time.
Right, we just like looked Bekitzer what he answered.
Bekitzer, yeah.
We didn't have time to sit on it.
But I see we're on the right path because often enough we see these things in the Pesach Tshuva or on the Ketzois or the Nesivos. We see it in the Nesivos all the time. The things we even saw something in the Grow once. I remember.
Yeah.
Okay, let me again weiter.
Okay, so Sma.
Madam also the pale high time for avodim beloila. Kili, because Kili avodim hem beloi avodim leavodim. Very good. Okay, weiter. But remember, he could come up with a question like that, but for her. Are you allowed to work permanently for?
You're right. If you're not,
the answer is no, because it's avodim leavodim. Lius beits balabais bekeva 3 shonim. Bis 3 yor megmenje. Bis 3 yor megmenje, of von 3 yor on tormenisht. That's what it seems from here.
Yeah.
The geben shonim heim Shem
Now,
Ebed.
the bottom line is in our day, it does the whole thing doesn't apply anyways. Because we don't have this kind of pile that is Eichel al Shulchanei and you know and Mamish lives by the bala like he's like an Evid. By us, you go home at night and you're your own balabas. There's no, it's not like you're sitting there lots of shali shanim. I don't know unless maybe you go work on a gas and you know out in the sea they have the gas drilling rigs. You know, then you go but even then they go for a place 6 months and the klal it's not the same you know it's not the same arrangement. The balabas doesn't have the same, you know, there's workers' rights these days.
Yep. Okay, weiter. So
Fine. So
let's go now to the Smer.
Yeah.
The Smer starts where
The
the
Smer
Smer starts Hischil.
Hitzchil Apayil, yeah.
היזכיר הפעם וכו'. המחבר נמשך אחר לושן הרמב"ם, דגם הוא לא כוסה שבעל הבית אסור לחזור בו מאחר שהזכיר הפועל ואפילו לא הולכו מקיימן. So the question is like this: he's allowed to be chayzer, yeah? But what about the Baal boss? Can he be chayzer? That's a question. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it says he doesn't write. Mechaber doesn't write. He goes after the Rambam that he doesn't write the Baal boss is also lachzer by since he started the poel.
Right. He spoke about Holach before, but but as far as his chil, he doesn't say anything about the balabas whatsoever.
Yeah, it doesn't. In other words, he doesn't. It doesn't prohibit him. It doesn't. The Rambam doesn't prohibit him.
Right. He should say his chil apel b'melacha aser habalabas lachzer by.
Yeah.
Apel, what's it called? Something like this.
Schreibt das nicht. It doesn't.
Yeah.
That, in other words, he's going to put Belocha, Choshen b'chatzi yoim, omnom, let's say, Habalabos Osuloi. Schreibt das nicht.
Something, yeah.
And that's the Lashon Rambam, not to include that clause. That's what he says over here.
Yeah.
So he says, the Gamma, okay, here we go. Aber bei Breise Isa, aber in Breise steht anders. Lashon besomuch, aber schreibt, Ramzoi, because we besomuch, in Reish Lamed Aleph, apparently, besoif,
yeah,
Chazoras Balabais kedin kablan. You're not allowed to. A kablan's not allowed to back out, right? Shosuloi. No, isn't that what we said by kablan? You're the latachteina always.
Yeah.
Okay, so then Beharambam sheishmitoi nirali taimoi mishum desirale the midin holchu by Escholas Melocha now.
Yeah.
So once it's holchu,
right? So you'll figure by yourself. Allah has come. Why? Because what was the reason?
Allah has come.
Right, because the whole reason of holchu is that it's kehischil.
Yeah.
So
when he mamish chischil is even more.
Right. So he didn't find the need to actually spell it out for you.
Right. Menin b'dedin me'atzcholos shema she'ischayv balabos bechazorosoi ke'alichosoi ke'alichoson shehu mitam she'halicha hascholos mikre.
It's considered like a haskola. Yeah.
So then it's obviously, he's not entitled to back out.
Right.
That's what he's saying.
Right.
Wait, 1 second. No, what am I talking about? No, we have to go all the way. Jump.
I think that's it.
That's it. Look at that. That's it. Look at that. In Gimel, that's it. Okay, now let's go do the...
right, besides at the very end, he has a little one. Bekeva Shali Shanim.
Yeah, Kevin Shalom, he says over there, he brings down Epis Apostle in Yeshaya.
Yeah, the Gimel Sham is Shanim Shem Evid V'Sachir Alav.
I can noch fragen nach Zachet.
Fine.
You could ask this question. How do you know? 3 years. Why 3 years? It's a pasuk.
You're right. Right. Why 3 years? Not only that, especially being, he's answering a very good question, because the question is, what do you mean 3 years? An Eved is 6 years,
Yeah.
right? Sheishonim Tavid, Ubashvi is Yetzil Lachov Shechinam, right? That's the
That's
pasuk.
why, yeah.
So,
So why 3 years should be 6 years?
so why three should be six? Six is an Eved. Why? What three? Because we see in Yeshaya that 6 years is called Shnei Sachir.
Yeah, it's
I think
considered.
the Shach, if I'm not mistaken, expands a little bit on that, and he brings that this Takas Vadas that hold six actually, and not three. And
But the embassy is that the Eved that we speak about, Eved
it's not, you
Ivri,
don't have today.
but you have a concept of Mishnah Socher, no? Is this the
No.
same
So
thing?
first of all, on Eved Ivri you don't have anymore. Second of all, even a Sachir, a
Is
Sachir
it,
like was in those days, we also don't have anymore. Nowadays, we don't have a Sachir that has those kind of terms that makes him like an Eved,
yeah.
like there was back then.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, so that's why I think there's another gather which is mentioned in the pasuk, Keshnei Socher. Shnei Socher is not an Eved Ivri.
No,
It's not an Eved. I don't think so. Is it?
I, I don't think so.
It's a form of servitude, but it's not mamish and Eved Ivri. I don't know. It's certainly worthwhile looking into this,
Yeah, to
because
see what
it's
he's what's it called. But
what
it
is
seems
driving.
like
Okay, let me jetzt lernen Shach, yeah? Okay,
no,
Shach
but this,
is,
but see, that's why the Minas Sinai says, he says the Gimel Shonim Shem Eved Visachir Olav. So I guess back there, like I'm not sure exactly why Eved Visachir. L'chura, the two, like you're saying, the two different things. But
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying is, whilst we might not know exactly where the Socher is, we know he's not an Eved. The Horaya, that he's categorized in different.
over there,
As
I don't know. Maybe he's referring to some in some way that this. I don't know. Not sure. Yeah,
yeah.
it's a good question though. Okay, Chayzer v'chulu, Shach Yudalit.
Choizer afilu kibel kvar dmei sechirusoi.
Yeah. So now the Shach.
Choizer afilu sagt Kosav Beis Yosef, das ist alles Schöne. Kosav Aritva, בשם רבי יוסף שלא יאמרו שפועל יוכל להחזיר בו אלו כסויכר, בסויכר עצמוי באמירה. In other
Right.
words,
So it's only so
we
now
get
he's gonna bring a interesting a different whole different twist it around.
yeah,
The whole
but he
twist.
wants to say that
It's
in other
only
words,
when their deal was Ba'amira and Hischil.
I think it's kind of like an informal kind of like commitment, no?
Meaning it means on a Kenyan.
On a Kenyan and
On a
Mistama.
Kenyan. That's
On
his
a Kenyan to make
calculation.
that's a schwache commitment. That's not like your mom is
Yeah,
making it.
it is until Hischil.
So Eva
Once Hischil is
says,
Aveda, it's a
yeah.
commitment now.
Yeah, but so why did he say over here, אבל כל שנשתעבד
Well, cultures
בקניין,
up the Kenyan.
ich meine nicht zu so, I don't think it means to say over here that if you started work, it's mamish, like a mamish Kenyan, like a
No. So now Adrabe. He's now gonna draw a differentiation
between a real
between
Kenyan like
Hischil and
Khalifin.
Kenyan. Taka
Right.
Hischil, it's a commitment, but
Yeah,
it's not the same level of like a Kenyan. He's saying.
right.
Yeah.
That's important for us to remember. Okay, weiter. So, אבל כל זה, אוקיי, וכן כוסף בדרכי משה בסתם. ולפי אני הסדייתי נראה ששאור כל הפויסקים דלא חילקו בכך between Kenyan and Israel, right?
Yeah.
לא הסבירה להו הוכי, they don't hold of this חילוק between Kenyan, a real
Right.
Kenyan.
Meaning, according to them, if you made a kinyan, still the schiriyim yachal lachzer bay.
Right. V'chein nida lefi anias daiti ikar.
Yeah, and this the Shach holds that this is the ikar, is that even by a kinyan. So what did it wants to say is he wants to say, oh, by without a kinyan yachal lachzer bay bechetzi hayom. With a kinyan, nope, that's it. You have to finish the day out. And the Shach says, no.
And why it's the same? Because avodim and lo avodim. Because of that reason.
Right, because it's mixedas hakosov. It's not.
It's not what difference does it
it's
make?
not because of the differentiation between commitment levels.
Right. Those who show up, I was here to bekach. Lo isvir lehu hochi. V'chein nir lefi anis daiti ikar. וגם timer, דלי בני ישרול עבודים, ולא עבודים לעבודים, משהו בכל עניין יכול. I think this is a different reason. The erste Tam is, man sagt nicht, als die Schar Poiskim sind ein Mechalik. That's the first reason. That's number one. He says clearly, we don't see that the other Poiskim, they're Mechalik between Kinyan Gomur and Iskil. We don't see. That's number one.
And the reason they're not Mechalik is because they hope there's no Chiluk.
Yeah, Begam, and Nochazach, which this could be indeed the reason of the Poiskim, right? Begam, timer, Deli Bnei Yisrael Abodim, Belo Abodim Labodim, Mash B'Dechol Inyan Yochol Lachzer Bey. It's Machnis Tois, because it's a Kosov, finish. Begin Mash B'Finish, Daiti Mash Kosov HaRosh, Perik Azov, V'Tur B'Rabbeinu Yeruchim, V'Shar Poiskim Gabe Meshichas Kli HaOmnus, the Alpha gab the Mehanil in Kablan Shenigmer Kinyan Aschirus Bekach. Bikomokoim Poel Yochelachzer. So we see from here that in the most strong kind of Kinyan, which is Kinyan Agav, Meshicha, and yet you see that the Soicher could still live. So this is Mamish over here, right?
Right.
So it's Meshicha leKinyan. It's schwer zu sagen, you know something? Meshicha is different.
That's Meshicha, and there's other kinyanim.
No. B'chol duchter ki hadodin inhu. Because in all cases, they're considered as one.
Right, you don't find another case where we split between Meshicha having a certain amount and another kinyan having more power.
Punkt over here you want to be mechalik.
Right. On what basis? Where
on what basis do you have exactly? V'gam behagos ashri mariach. פרק האומנין, מדam lehu lehadodi leinyan zeh, noch sagt zwar an Platz, in Agos Ashri, was is gleich zu beide zusammen, that, you know what I'm saying? What in beide? I think it means to say over there, what we're just talking right now, which is
that he's
Meshicha and all the
other kinyanim, it's the same
kinyanim, they're all one. Ki hadi hadodin.
They have the same strength,
Ja, we hebben is got een dalad, begam niet de hebben kinyan dvorim, כמו שכתוב הרמב"ם. So פרק מלכוס מחירו. What's kinyan dvorim?
It was like I should cut some started kinyan plain issue. Let's see. I think Kinyan Dvarim is a star where they it's a star that states that a deal was made. Meaning it's not a star of a deal, it's a witnessing star.
Yeah. Yeah, I could look at the Rambam. It's not like it's you know. The Raibet behasogo is shom nire shemoideloi beze. Davke beshutlim poligaleh בפרק ד' מלכוס שלוחין לעינן הרווח שהרוויחו כבר. או מטעם שכיוון שמשתבח הדודי לא שייך לא יאמר עבודים. ואין במעריק שואל שזה, אוקיי. ואולם, גם המחבר חוזר בוי, ולקח לא החילק כאן בשולחן אורך בין בנשתבל בקינין אוי לוי. or
Right, meaning because who brought this ritba is the Bes Yosef. It says
right?
so maybe when he wrote the Bes Yosef, he had that Havamina, but now when he wrote the Shulchan Aruch, he changed his mind. He didn't.
In other words, ben Khan, ben Ishtabel Bekinyan. In all cases, Khan means to say over here, but with a kli,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And or not, maybe Be'amida and Bekli. Anyway, what comes
yeah.
out is, you know what I'm saying, is es ist nicht kein, you can't in other words, in all cases, it could be Chayzer. Got it? Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it means. That's for sure.
Right, and he's and not just that, but he's strengthening that Haschola Saveda is a Kenyan.
Yeah.
Just what? And a Payil is a lot can go back on a Kenyan because Libnei Salavadim.
אפילו קיבל שלם, ואז יוכל להחזיר בו המון זכויות שנאמר, כי בני ישראל עבודים. Benida, the Gam Haritvo, yeah?
Yeah, that even the Ritva, that the best Yosef is he's
And
bringing,
avoid Yochad Achim
he
by
brings
Olam,
this from
Apilo
Ritva.
Yisum Melocha, Apilo Bekinyan, Bishum Dechsiv, the Poil, but not the Balabos nicht. Benida, the Gam Haritvo, Loikomar Elo Bekablon, that he can't. The Ritva said you can't, right?
Yeah.
But he only said that you cannot, only by Kablon. והנה שאני יוכל להחזיר בוי בשום מומן, כמו שכתבתי לעיל, ספקותן, ד' בשם הגוס אשרי. ואף היא שפשט לא שנרית בו למש בכן, כמו שכתבתי, מי שפושט פשט לא שנרית בו למש בכן, אולי לא יהיה בזה, עיקר, I think we already said that it was talking about a Kabbalah. I don't know why it's going back on it.
Right. So the Ritva, he was talking about the Kabbalah.
Yeah, and that's the way it stays. I think this is all built on that, on that terrace, you know.
Yeah, and he wasn't talking about so it could be even the Ritva himself didn't hold this like this.
Well, that's
But
the way we take.
in either case, the
I don't know
Shach
what
is
the
very,
Ritva,
very
I don't know
clear.
what I don't know what the Ritva said, but that's what we are saying over here that the Ritva said.
Yeah, so in either case, the Shach is very clear that Haschola Saveda is a Kenyan.
Two things. As is a Kenyan und kann Häuser sein, Punkt also wie
And yeah, and he can be
andere so
Chayzer on a
Kenyanim.
Kenyan. Right, it's
Und
not that he can be Chayzer because it's not a Kenyan. It is a Kenyan, and he can be Chayzer, and he can be Chayzer by a Kenyan.
but only by a Seucher and not by a Kabbalah. That's
Right,
it.
and we're talking by Schiriyim. Why? Because a Kabbalah doesn't fall on him. Kili b'nei Yisrael
Even Israel, okay, fine.
Yeah.
ואין ביודו לשלם לושן מהריק, אין המוס ביודו לשלם, ואפשר לומר, דווקא נוקט שאין המוס מזומן ביודו לשלם. וכמוכם, יש לו לשלם. אבל אם אין לו לשלם כלל, אין לו יוכל להחזיר בו. דהבה כדבר העובד ככמה, see? There's restrictions. Under what circumstances could he be choizer? If he has the money, except it's not mezuman. This is what the Maharik says.
Yeah, why? Because now it's a davar over to the balabas.
You
don't have the money at all. I gave you the money, and now I'm taking a loss.
They have it over. Come on. and you can't be choizer on dover ha'ovod, right? We said that. אבל דברי המחבר נילי אפילו אין לו לשם כלל יוכל להחזיר. ולדומי לדובר העובד שסויכר עולו ועתינו, אבל מקומוקם אינו יוכל לקויפו להשתבל בוי בשביל כך. What does that mean? יהיה מאף אגב שאין לו אישה.
It's not, so he's saying not like a davar avod. That meaning that what do we say by davar avod? By davar avod, he can either hire somebody more expensive and take his money to pay him, or matoi, he tells him I'll pay you more money to finish it, and then he doesn't pay him. Right? That's by davar avod. And he says, but that's not the case here. You cannot, right? Mikol mokim ein yochel chiv l'shtav b'shvil kach.
אבל מקומוק אינו יכול לקויפו להשתבל בוי בשביל כך. What do you mean? He cannot force who?
He cannot force him to keep working when he doesn't want to work.
He doesn't want to work. Just because he doesn't have money.
Right. Why? Because li b'nei Yisrael avodim.
Vidami, Apagav, this is to remember this. The ein loy leshalem, loy mikra bishvil kach dover avod. Apagav the Isa the il simen lamed zayin the seif yud. The lamrin shama isashe hainu leinian edus. Aber mekomokem loy mikra hocha dover avod bedover kach kiven sheefsha shehe Eloi.
Right.
Now he doesn't have, but he'll have
right.
later.
It's not a davar avod. A davar avod is pshat. It's never la'ilam. Right, by the flax. If you're not going to take the flax out of the water, if you're not going to take the flax out of its dipping pool, right? It's gone. It's finished. It's you can never bring it back. Here he's saying it's not a davar avod. It's a davar avod. Ka'es. It's not a davar never la'ilam. A davar avod means it's never la'ilam. So Bekitzer, the Shach doesn't go by this. What's it called? By the
Maharik.
Maharik, who says that if the mamish doesn't have the money, then he can't force him because like David Avod. He says no, it's not a David Avod. It's different than David Avod, and even so, he can't force him. Okay, what's the next Shach Zayin? Oh, here's what the Shach is gonna be. He's gonna go the Taz. Sorry, not the Taz. The Smeh. He just brought the pasuk from Yeshaya. It said Gimel Shonim Shem Avid V'Sachet Olav, while like it says in Yeshaya. He left it at that. The Shach's gonna go more into it. Shach Zayin.
So Hayotzim calls that since it's not Dover Avod, so then what?
He's gonna have to owe him. He can't force him.
He has to owe him. He can still quit. He can still quit. That's a shot.
Yeah.
Okay. High time, yeah, we can gain weiter.
Now going to what the Agah said, that because of this,
that's why he can't Rebbe and a Sofer.
You can't contract, right? Even a Rebbe, a Sefer for sure. Other workers,
or a Chazan maybe also anything which is tied up with Yiddishkeit,
Right, that's for sure. So lachas kama v'kama, somebody who's not, you can't tie yourself up in schirus for
a meshach of more than 3 years, or 3 years or more, rather.
Yeah.
Nearly the Hainu Davka Kishiyesh Parnosa Uksus, Bekai Gabna also Lim Kuratzmo Le'eved Ivrik Deisa Beteres Kohenim. Rambam Mesmag Reish Hilchus Avodim. But him who Oni Biyoser שאין לו אפילו כסוס, כוס הרמב"ם מסמק שם, דמותר למכור את עצמו. פשיטו, דהיכו דמותר למכור את עצמו, מותר אפילו לשונים הרבה, כדי איסר בש"ס. You understand?
Yeah,
I got
meaning
this
the whole reason that you can't do this is because a sochid is daimil eved.
Yeah, but
So
if he's
obviously, in a case where you mamish would be allowed to sell yourself for an eved, you're starving to death. You don't have food to eat. You don't have clothing. You don't have shelter. In such a case, you're mamish allowed to sell yourself as an eved mamish. So in a case where you can sell yourself as an eved mamish, Allah has come because better at least only to be daimel eved than an eved. So better be a sachir than an eved. Not than
the
an
truth of
eved
the matter
mamish.
is, in Bekagoin Do, not that nowadays we could have that situation, but you're mutter to sell yourself as an Eved.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, what's Kenshan Zan? I mean, the Taylor says it, no?
Right. So alachas kama v'kama
Your
a
money to
sachid.
people. I'm not talking about a Geneva, not Begnibosoi.
No. Just if you're starving, I'm pashat. I don't have shelter. I don't have food.
Starving, and
I'm
you
homeless. I'm homeless. I'm starving. I'm out of options.
and on top of that, you owe people money. You owe people money. You know, you have to you sell yourself as an Eved Ivri. Begnibosoi. It doesn't only mean to say
Right.
Begnibosoi.
Even if you don't owe money, you can still say if you push it, you're down and out and starving. Yeah, you're homeless. You what's it called? You can sell yourself as an avidivri.
Yeah.
So Allah has come v'kameh. So you can contract yourself out for a sachir that's only daimel evid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ich meine, wie es war mit dem Kurzatz, Pschita de Hecha, de Mutter lieb Kurzatz, moi Mutter afil schon im Harbe getese. Okay. Beim Gesol im Gebek, ja Pschita de Mutter le Haskir Atzmoi. Hold on a second, please. Hello? Yeah, what's going on? Yes. Yeah. He's saying, my apologies. Okay, weitergegangen.
Yeah.
Bekeva Shalosh Shonim, yeah. וכך הוא
Yeah.
בדרכי מוישה ותמצאים לב, ובספר באר שבע, דף ק"י בייס, עמוד בייס, ובספר אגוד דזזה, דף ק"ז, ודרך כוסו דתו ספר, כוסו דתו ספר, דתו יויסר מגימל שונים. So in other words, some say it's supposed to be till 3 is good, more than 3 not, and not the way we said right now that it's till 3.
Yeah.
שכן הוא בהגוס מרדכי, בדבריהם נכנם. שכן מבואר בהגוס מרדכי שם להדיב, זה לשנה. כי לי בני ישראל עבודים, ולעבודם לעבודם, תימה. אם כן, כשם שעשו למכר בעבד עברי, כך יהיה עשו להמשך בדקורי הוכי פועל עבד. אוקיי. שלמה דפועל למקרה עבד אלא סוחר. והודי אלפינן לעבד היינו לעניין כולה. דהיינו דכסיב, כי מי שסול שכוחי לעבדיך, דהיינו שש, כי דכסיב בישעיהו, 3 שונים כשני שוחים. ואם כן, עבדי בבוב שונים, היינו משנה סוחר סוחר. The kula, you don't know, it's not the 6 years, it's 3 years. ונגיד, מהייתם יש איזור למלמד או לסופר או שער מלוכס שלא להסקי עצמו להיות בייס אם הוא להיות סומך על שון בלי סופר יויסר מגיב מלשון. You see? He goes to Shitoso, he goes the whole way. The kol tvei megimel shonim nafkele toiras sochir ve'eved gomer lo have lekol choisov. In other words, even though the afagav the eved gomer lo, you understand the afagav, not eved. The afagav choshefil is not like an eved ivri eichnish. Mikomokem kivan the nafke meteres sochir.
Oh, but I'll keep leaning still avodim.
One second, please.
Basically, he's taking a very different approach than this man.
He's saying more than 3 years.
But also he's Bichlal taking a very different approach. Because the approach that he's taking, this smeh is very simple. His approach, he brings it out of the pasuk because in Yishai it says Shal Lishanim Gishnei Sach. Whereas the Shach is taking a much more logical approach to it. He's bringing a logic trail. This smeh just says, listen, this is what it says in the pasuk Shal Lishanim. Whereas the Shach wants to go into what's the svara behind it, and he's going up Piyas svara.
That what?
That what's it called? That since the the chol tfei megimel shonim nafkeli miteda sachir.
That's also kind of a Yalfusa. That's a kind of a
Yeah, but it's not. But it's he's bringing it is, but not so much like this smeh that just pulls it straight out of the pasuk in Yeshaya and done. Here he's learning it out and he's creating a trail of it. Like he's doing the limud on it and connecting it logically. And he points out another thing also. Is what's it called? Is a sachir? Okay, I'm contracting myself out for 3 years, right? But we just said that a schir yom is mutar lachzer b'chatzi hayom.
So what's even a half a minute to say
So
that?
an Eved Ivri can't be chazer by b'chatzi hayom. He can't be chazer by the whole 6 years.
Right.
So it's not the same,
So I mean, even if it's more than 3 years, right?
So according
So
to
what?
the Sefer Beresheva holds
Yeah.
that based on the Taisvis that's mashma that you could even more than 3 years. Why
Because
does he hold that?
because he can quit. Because he
right,
can quit.
right. You're schir yom. You can leave your. So what do you mean that you're like an Evidivri? An Evidivri can't leave. You're not allowed to leave at all.
The
This
real
guy,
truth.
this guy can contract himself out for 3 years, and then an hour later say, see ya.
The truth of the matter is that none of the Neser Kalim have really dealt with that. That it's an Imbomba Kasha.
Yeah.
Is was just because it's 3 years, 3 years, more than 3 years, nafka mina. What about
Yeah.
if he wants to work for him for 20 years? But every day he can quit. Beta Evet, I think it's more, I think what he wants to say, it's not obviously nothing like an Evet because he could quit and many other reasons why. I think that I think that what that he's saying is it shouldn't look like a servitude of an Evet.
Yeah.
In Ochanami, he can quit. Or but baseball,
But it's right.
you know, you're working for somebody, you don't quit. You can quit, but you know,
Right. It
and we're not
looks like
talking.
an Avdus, yeah.
And by the way, Mendel, I don't want to tell you that he doesn't want to quit because he's destitute. No, that's not the reason why. That's why that he can't quit. You know, but in other words, and that makes him, in a sense, you know what I'm saying, you know, the quit and not quit has nothing to do whether he has money, doesn't have money. Obviously, he doesn't have money. He's not going to quit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's a good for him. He doesn't have to worry about anything. He sits there
Good
and
for
does his work.
them. Yeah,
Everything's
yeah.
taken care of. The balabas it takes. He doesn't have to worry about food and not shelter and not fixing his house and not nothing. It's good for him.
I understand you want to say that if everything is going good for you, like he said before, if you have a house and you have this, you have that, you should make
Anyway,
his contract.
this whole thing, it's a very funny thing because it's almost like it's almost like the whole thing is brought just for the svara of it.
Yeah, in
Because
real
even back
practicality.
then, this whole thing, right? So fine. So I'll tell the balabas, I'm gonna work for you for a year and take a day off, and then work for you for a year and take a day off, and then the whole point is moot. So like, it's almost like a far fetched thing. It's
Yeah.
it's almost it's almost more it's almost more like because what we said about before that Aschir Yaim can leave because of Adam Lavadim, he wants to emphasize that point of the importance of not of being Avodim Lay and not Avodim Lavadim. Because even back then, like there's so many ways around that you can circumvent this so easily.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'll work the 3 years minus a day, and then I'll leave, and then I'll make a new deal with you for the next. So I think it's more for this. It's almost like more for this svara of emphasizing this importance of avodim loy, avodim lavodim. That's what it seems to me.
Even though there's no direct application, in other words.
Right, but it's still
Zwischen
important.
dir, zwischen
Even
dir
it's
und
not this svara, it's important.
yeah, no, it's important, but zwischen dir und mir gerät. If we're talking about the aesthetics of this, right, which is really
Yeah,
what this is, what is, did enough come in 3 years or 3 years in one day? No, was denn? Du willst sagen, du willst Medaik sein von der Psukim. Von der Psukim wirst du Medaik sein, aber there's no direct application.
but honestly, here I see the smet easier than I see the shach. Because since we're
Oh,
talking about this brilliant application, fine. This mess says you can't. Why? Why? Because it could be because that's what it says in Yeshaya is the Shal Lishonim Kishnei Sachir. Fine. So you know what? And you'll tell him, oh, so I'm gonna so I'll just take a day off, and then okay, fine. Then you're good.
you know, what you're saying is that the Smeh is more al pi Gzeres HaKosov.
Right. So you're gonna say fine. So then I'll do 3 years minus a day, and he'll say
But
fine. No problem.
you know what
It's like you're
Gzeres
fine.
HaKosov
Do
means?
that. Perfect.
Mendel, you know what Gzeres HaKosov means? You know what Gzeres HaKosov is? That if you're going to ask me on the Gzeres HaKosov, that if it's Gzeres HaKosov, not to equate you like a like a schiriyoim, right?
Yeah.
Like an eved. So it's mashma because you're saying that it's a build up to an eved, right? That's what you're saying.
Right. Yeah.
In other words, every day till the 3 years, it's a build up to the eved, right? Oh, but in the 3 years itself, you can quit at every given moment. You have one foot in, one foot out at any given moment.
Right.
Elomai, it's not that it's not a it's a Gezeres HaKosov. It's a Kabbalah Zach,
Right, right,
like any other thing,
right. So
But
therefore, again, you'll tell me, so fine, so I'll find a way around it. Fine, no problem. So just make sure you
find
find a
a
way
way
around it.
around it. I don't know.
Yeah, find a way around it. Perfect.
It's like saying, how do you say, you find a Tatum for everything, you know what I'm saying? Geh suche Hette, fine, ich habe schon ausgefunden Hette, you know what I'm saying?
Right. It's like we don't cook what's it called? We don't cook eggs in even numbers,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Fine. So I have a way around it. I'll add an egg. Good, perfect.
At the neck,
No
exactly.
problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think
That whole thing, you're
I think
there
the
when
whole point that they're
yeah.
looking to make here is and by the way, and the point in a way is shaykh, meaning look, and at least I myself have been before in you know in a 9 to 5 avdus sort of job or whatever. It's not for a yid. It's not. It's better to do something that gives you flexibility. As fine, you need to make money, but to give you
Oh,
flexibility as mechanic obviously. And what do you call it?
that's the ideal. Das will ich
Yeah,
bringen. That it has a limud, it has a Musa scale, unrelated to 3 years or more than 3 years. That I think that one should try not to engage in a parnosa that has that element of servitude, and you as a balabos should not even less than 3 years. I think the whole thing is that it shouldn't create a ruach of servitude because
right.
li abodim. So that has a musa. I think so. I don't want to start getting
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but even it's not just the idea of it. First of all, both for a Jew who's making a parnasa, right? And because you could also you could make a parnasa and have some flexibility and have some time to learn, or you could say, wait a second, if I'm making this much parnasa now, I can make really, and then you end up getting into an avdus. You end up running after money, running after money.
for
So listen, I
yourself
have a parnasa, it's good. It's
for
good
your own
enough.
business.
If I should be rich, the Abishter can make me rich on this also, on this more limited. What do you call it? I don't have to take my whole everything and put it into like an avdus to, and also mitzad the Yiddish employer to be sensitive to the employees that they shouldn't be like avodim also.
So there is some sort of, but for that you could stay with the smeh. You don't need to fagribel zach in all the pilpulim of the shach. If to learn that symbol of avodim beloy kili avodim beloy avodim, so then you don't need to engage yourself in this people that the Shach did, because that's technicalities. You know what I'm saying? He's really going to technicalities. He's telling you not 3 years, more than 3 years, and which if to learn the basic philosophy or not to engage or engage others in servitude, as not to be doime le'eved. So I think dayoy with this message. That's I'm just saying that. I mean, I'm not trying to.
Yeah,
Kach nearly, but who am I to say, Okay, willst lernen jetzt Darity, kennst nicht, it's schon nach der Säge.
um,
That's really up to you.
how big is Dalit? I think is the question. Let's see what we. Wait, did we finish? No. Let's finish. Let's finish Chodge Gimel.
Okay, you know
Did we
something?
finish it?
Is any chance that tomorrow we could
Oh,
learn
we did finish. We did
yeah?
finish.
Okay, so let's leave Dalit for tomorrow. Let me just learn this will take us.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, and Mitzvah
The
Shem, let's
Shaila
try to
is
find
Ben Morgan. This is Shaila. You wanna see? You wanna call me tomorrow?
It's gonna have to be really anytime after 11. From 8 to 11, I'm substituting in the girls' school.